Hi, I'm Dr. Roadhouse. What I want to talk about today is the domino effect that the thyroid has. So, the thyroid, it cross-talks with all the other organs in your body. And usually when you get a thyroid problem, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up the next day and all of a sudden you've got all the symptoms of thyroid. The symptoms come on slow, insidiously. They do a little bit of damage. You might notice, oh, I'm just kind of a little bit tired. Or you might have constipation for a couple of days. You might feel like you got the flu. You might have body aches. You might feel, oh, my hands and feet are cold, but make excuses for it. Maybe it's a virus or whatever. But what happens is all that time, it's not functioning properly. And so what happens is it communicates with the adrenal glands. It communicates with the other areas. So what happens is that it slows everything down. That's why most patients that have a full-blown thyroid problem can't lose weight, because it slows down the basal metabolic rate. It slows everything down. It slows the motility in the colon. So food doesn't get through there like it's supposed to. You're supposed to evacuate the bowels around 18 to 24 hours after you've eaten. So what happens is the motility slows. The peristaltic action of the colon doesn't push it through. The food sits in there longer. It slows down the gallbladder, so the gallbladder doesn't work as good. So what happens is it doesn't push the bile out every time you eat a fatty meal. Even if you're eating a healthy meal, avocados, nuts, those things still have fat. They're good fats, but they're fats and they have to be digested. So what happens is that the gallbladder now, after a period of time, gets sluggish and it doesn't work right. It doesn't pump the bile out. So what happens is the bile stays in that little gallbladder and it gets sludge in there. It starts to thicken. It stays in there longer and you start getting stones. And the gallbladder has blood vessels in it in the outside of the actual gallbladder itself. So what happens is that as the sludge thickens and the stones start getting bigger, it starts distending. And what does it do? It constricts the blood flow there. So what happens is you're going to get gallbladder disease. If it goes on long enough, if you still have your gallbladder, get in quickly because we can still save it. I can't tell you how many patients have had thyroid problems for many years and they've lost their gallbladder. Gallbladder plays a very important function. If you don't have a gallbladder, you have to take certain enzymes to help digest the fatty meals. Now, the other thing that happens is that when the gallbladder isn't working right, then it makes the adrenal gland work more because now it has to produce amylase, which is an enzyme to help with fat digestion. So it keeps going and going and going. And that's what the domino effect is. If you have a chronic problem, a health problem, it might be related to your thyroid, even if you don't have a lot of the symptoms. But if you have a lot of the symptoms, then that's what happens. And if you look at your symptoms, they'll go like this. Maybe you can sleep and then all of a sudden you can't sleep. Or maybe you sleep but you wake up wide awake in the middle of the night. That's not normal. That shouldn't happen. Your energy level might be off. Well, that can happen with the adrenal glands. If the adrenal glands are stressed, they produce epinephrine and norepinephrine, catecholamines, and what they do is if they're in your system long enough, they hyperexcite the type C nociceptor receptors, which are the pain-sensitive fibers. And so that can give you the symptom where you're having pains that migrate all over your body. So, if you're having a thyroid problem, a chronic health problem, and you've been to these other doctors, if they haven't found what your problem is, you haven't been tested properly. The tests we use are tests that most doctors don't know about. They're the best tests in the world. You wouldn't use them on 90% of the population because they're going to go to the doctor, they're going to have a symptom, they're going to do the lab test, and they're going to give them medicine to fix it, and then it's fixed and they don't have to take the medicine anymore. That's not you, obviously. So if you want to get to the bottom of this, if you want to come to a doctor that looks at things differently, it's going to do lab tests that no one else has done to you because we're going to find stuff they missed. Give us a call, 918-481-2770. and schedule a free consultation and examination. We'll evaluate you and see if you're a candidate for our program. Thank you.